They talk about commitment. They want to say, "Oh, are you really truly committed?" No. Okay. Okay. True commitment is when you commit yourself and secure yourself to your damn wig. It's so damn hard to just keep the wig on. Like, that's why I sewed the wig on. I sewed the wig on because I keep taking it off. Every time I'm frustrated and I'm tired, I'm like, fuck this hair. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. Put it to the side. That's the beauty of having a wig, is you can just take it off rather than having your hair. Let me tell you, they want to talk about how hard being black is. It's too hard. It's too damn hard. It's a lot easier for Spanish or white people to get around. Why? And to get to work and make their money. That's why they have more money than us. It's because their hair is good. You can't tell me anything different. Because when I'm in that mirror as a black woman, the one thing I'm thinking about is what I'm about to do with my hair. That's the one thing I'm thinking about. Is how I'm going to do my hair so I can present myself to y'all. To y'all white people. I love white people. I do. Because when I came to the United States, they were the ones that were nice to me. They were the most, or the only ones that were actually nice. And the Spanish people. Some, not all. And the reason I said Spanish is because there's some Spanish people that act like black people, and I just can't stand them. But I wasn't bullied by white people. I wasn't. So I do praise them a lot. And I'm sorry, but I appreciate them not bullying me. They've done enough bullying in the past to a lot of other black people. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that the reason why we're still so poor is because we've been behind. Black people have been abused so much, and we can all have the argument and say that everybody has been abused. And I have even said that to black people, that guys, y'all need to stop complaining about what white people did, because that happened a long time ago. They have changed now, and maybe not everybody has changed, and you go secretly and there's a racist white person. It's hard to have everything perfect. Like, not everybody has changed, but there has been a big change. Open your eyes to see how the world is now, how the United States is now. Whites and blacks, Spanish and blacks, everybody's coming. The whole thing is blacks are crying. They're crying. When they go steal in your shop, it's a cry. Because you didn't share with them. You didn't share with me, not me personally, but you didn't share with them. It was your responsibility to teach them how to live so they can live a right way. But because the white people were hungry for power, and it wasn't just hunger for power, it's just dominance. It's the way things are. It's not their fault. It's just the way they are. I'll bring the checkerboard when it comes in the mail, but it's not like any checkmate or anything. I rebuke that. But what I'm saying is that that's how it was. It wasn't the white people's fault. Why did the white people abuse the black people? That's all I keep hearing, the spirits and the energies and black people crying. Why did they do this to us? Why are they, because you're black. You have a power that they didn't have. And they were jealous, angry, and hurt. Remember this saying, hurt people hurt people? They were hurt. Every time they went under that sun, there was a price to pay. And that price was pain. Have you ever been sunburned before? I know that you think this is nothing. For a black person, being under the sun is nothing. It's beautiful. It feels great for us because we don't get sunburned like that. Especially when you're a dark-skinned person, you have an advantage there. You can go dig for gold. A white person can't go dig for gold for hours and find it without getting burned and going home under fire. That's why they were burning black kids, because they were being burned every time they went under that sun. So they were trying to make those black children feel the pain that they felt. They were angry at God. They were angry at life. They were angry at the universe. They were angry at themselves. They wished they could do what you do. Just like now, you look at them shine, you wish you could do what they could do. They have a mind that you don't have a mind. They wanted you to be behind because they felt like you had the advantage. That if you knew what they knew, you would overpower them and control them. They don't want you to overpower them and control them. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's in nature. That's how people are. It's just defending themselves. They don't want you to dominate them, because they don't know what you're going to do to them if you become dominant, if you're on top. Just like if they're on top, they don't know what, if they're on top, you don't know what they're going to do to you because of what they've already started doing to you. But look at the progress that they've done now. White people are not stupid. They're not stupid. They're highly intelligent. And the thing about it is, they know that by abusing you or trying to get rid of you, they cannot get rid of you. Because by the power of God, it was by the power of God that you were designed and created. You, by the will of God and the will of the universe and Mother Earth, you are, because Mother Earth is black, you were here for a reason. You're not a mistake because you're black, because of your skin complexion. You're not here to work just for yourself, but you're here to work for them. What they can do, you can do. If you learn how to work as a partnership, if they can't go out there in the sun all day and you can do it, they're going to send you to do it. But because they have the mind and they have the finance, they will pay you. They didn't know they could, even if they knew they could pay you, they didn't want to pay you because they didn't want you to overpower them. It's a power thing, if you didn't know that yet. But nowadays, things have changed because they have seen that it's not causing any solutions because of Abraham Lincoln. God sent Abraham Lincoln on this planet as an angel for a reason, to free the slaves. He freed the slaves, and all the slaves, most of the slaves were all black people. So he, as a white man, was fighting for black people. God is a white man who fought for black people too. He sent Jesus. And the reason he sent Jesus is because he himself could not just come down and do it. Who is going to watch over everything else if he comes down to get crucified? He cannot be crucified. Not in that way. You know what I mean? Because he has to watch over everything. He has to be the one to watch over. If they killed your boss, you wouldn't have a job. In most cases, if the boss has workers and people already established, like Steve Jobs, they killed him or he died, but his business is still a legacy. But that's because he built something. He built people. He did this. But so he made bosses over him. So there are people that are still working under him, even if he's dead, quote unquote, which is not. He's still running things in a different way. His name is still a legacy. But you can't kill God. So he had to send somebody else to be killed on his behalf. And I strongly feel in my heart that God was in Jesus, with Jesus spiritually, and that was the only way Jesus was able to conquer death. I don't feel like Jesus was able to conquer death without the power of God. You understand? Because the power of God cannot be killed. His power cannot be killed. So you need the power of God to survive. We all are surviving off of the power of God. We don't have supernatural powers, but God has supernatural powers. We only have these abilities. God took that away from us for a reason. It's not that he didn't want us, but too much power is not good for a person. And we as witnesses know that. People in power know that. Too much power does not feel good. It doesn't. When God lives in you, it doesn't feel good all the time. It's too much. You gotta release it. You gotta release your voice. You have to speak about it. You're being called out. You're being aimed at. You're being, you know what I mean? And people are recognizing you. They may not know who you are, but there's something about you that makes people intrigued by you. So there's something you need to do. There's something you need to say. And people are listening. That's what they're saying. That's why they're looking at you. So when Abraham Lincoln came on earth, he was like a Jesus in a different way. Jesus is the most powerful and most incredible because of the pain that he suffered. He's not more powerful than God, but with God, they work hand in hand. I say he's more powerful because of the pain that he suffered. I say that, but because I know that he didn't suffer it without the power of God, that's why God has to be involved, because he's very much needed in the credit. And so I feel like when Jesus said, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? He didn't realize that God was with him, in him, I don't know if it was in him, but I believe, well, it makes sense because of what I said. If God was not in or with him, or maybe if it was not with him, he had the ability to send his spirit to hold Jesus while Jesus was, because there is, you had to go in the spirit. Like when I was suffering and going through my stuff, ain't no damn way I did that by myself. Ain't no way I did it by myself. There is ain't no way. I couldn't, and my own body told me that you did not do this by yourself. And that's God, or the God in me, or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like you didn't do this by yourself. Because there was times I felt like I was on the cross with Jesus, right? So there was a time where I was like sitting there and my hands, my fingers, everything was so weak that it felt like there was somebody else doing it. And I feel like that's how it was with Jesus. It was God, the power of God in Jesus holding him up. But Jesus wasn't aware of that. And the whole point is for him to experience, he experienced life as feeling alone, being lonely, feeling like he was the only one. These are feelings that God did feel on his own. It wasn't the exact same thing, because that was a suffering that no man should ever suffer. I have sympathy for Jesus. I love Jesus. He's the love of my life, my husband. I don't care what anybody says. If it's abomination, illegal, he is a man and needs a woman. And if you're not willing to stand up for him, why shouldn't this woman stand up for him and say, I'm yours? I'm God's, I'm yours too. You know, so you can think whatever you want to think when you hear that. It's up to your intelligence. If you have enough intelligence to comprehend the words that are coming out of my mouth, then you'll be able to receive this message with love and with peace. But if you do not have that intelligence to comprehend these words, you're not going to accept it with love. You're not going to accept it with peace. Try to understand that these words that I'm speaking to you came with a price. This stuff was not easy to speak about. It is embarrassing. And not only is it embarrassing, it is hard. It is painful. It's just exposing yourself. You don't even know if it's true. But by going through the hardship and seeing that and conquering that hardship, you know that there is a God that helped you. There is no way. This body is an honest body. Even if when you're lying, there is honesty that comes out of those lies, because the universe forces you to speak the truth, because the truth has power over any lie in this world. There's a lot of truth that comes out in different ways, and they have their personal timing. But when your body is an honest body and it's a God's body and it's the form of God's body, it's not the enemy, because the enemy is the one that's lying and tries to tell people and tries to fight against the will of God or God's universe standing, because the enemy's job is to break God's kingdom and stop everything, because he's bored, he's tired. Satan is exhausted. He doesn't know why he's here. He's dragged around the same way you're dragged around. Satan is being dragged around, because remember in the Bible, Satan had to answer to God. Did you check this? So he's being sent by God to check on you. So people will say, I can't believe God could create such an evil person or this and that. I don't know if I believe God did create, because Satan does not have dominance over God, or he existed already, or whatever, however it is. God will explain it later. But what I'm saying is that darkness is created to help you see, understand, and know, and introduce you to the light, and introduce you to itself. Without being on one side, you can't understand the other side. Without experience evil, you don't know what good is. So all those things come hand in hand, and they work as a partnership to open your eyes, so you would see. The one thing human beings do have, and God gave these human beings, we cannot say that they already had it. They didn't. God gave these human beings because he existed way before they did. And he gave them that power not by choice. He had no choice but to give them that. So nobody really has a choice, because you don't choose to exist. You just exist. Because if you could choose to not exist, then we will probably not all be here. I don't know. But existence is not a choice. Existence is just existence. The universe has no choice but to be here. You know? So we as Black people have no choice but to work with white people. Learn how to work together. You're in this together. I don't care who did what. Find a way to make a solution. And I've seen solutions happen. So you can't come up to me and tell me solutions have not happened. I know you have emotions. I know you have feelings. Express those feelings. Put them on the big screen. Let them out. Because once you let them out, then you can move forward. Just like I'm releasing this to you, I can finally move forward from this. It was not easy to do this. Don't you ever think that this was easy. It looks easy. It sounds easy, but I died and I suffered to even be able to open my mouth to even speak to you. It is a pleasure to be able to release this because I don't want it in me. I want to be free from it. The wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding you have accumulated needs to be released because you need to feed the world with what you have learned. It is an education. You come to the world to learn. It is a university. People go to universities to learn. Once you learn, then you can feed and show people what you have learned. Do not keep it from them. Do not sell it to them. Sell what you can, but this comes freely. And if people want to pay you or make you or give you something, sure. That's the beauty of YouTube or Instagram. You giving it freely, not wanting something in exchange, but people can give you donations because they appreciate the message that you have given to them. The universe will answer back, in whatever way. So I just wanted to let that out. Not every crazy person is stupid. They're just going through a spiritual experience or an illness or whatever they're going through, but they're not stupid. They're going through a battle. All this that you see is a battle that comes from within and coming outside. These are war wounds. Proof that I'm going through war. I have been through war. This is proof. And there's some people that come with clear this, clear that, and are still going through war. They just don't have the scars that I have. But these scars just show you how much the battle and how bad the battle is. All right? So I encourage you guys to work together. I don't want to be around or hear Black people talking bad about white people or Spanish people or these people complaining about that person. Put it on the internet if you have a problem with it. Let's make solutions. I hear you. It's nice to hear about, your opinion, but I just don't want to hear bad because I got some nice white friends, some nice Black friends. I have some nice Black or Spanish friends, Indian friends, just a few. Not everybody's my friend because it's hard to tell nowadays. Business partners, maybe. So it's really hard for me to just pick a side. Just because of my skin complexion, I'm on the Black side. That's not true. Because they don't want me. They don't want nothing to do with me. Not all of them, but most of them. That's how they act like. Because to them, I got to be pretty. I got to have my heels on. Because the white people ain't going to accept you. If they're true, honest people, they're going to accept me the way I am. I'm not going deep in the white neighborhood, but I've been there where I was the only Black person and I wasn't treated with disrespect. I was treated with respect. You know why? For most of them did treat me with respect. Like 1 or 2 is all I can remember disrespecting me. They're probably talking about me behind my back because they know better than to come in my face and talk to me. Because that will be them harassing me. And the United States does not allow that. The law does not allow that. They did in the past, but they broke those. When Abraham Lincoln and all these other people that fought against it came and the wars came, that's what the war was all about. For it all to end. So once that ends, white people know better than to come up to me and harass me. They will get arrested. They will get in trouble and justice will be served. And for the most part, because there are some that get away with crime. They are. just because of who they are, just because they're white. They got somebody on them. I don't know them, but I'm pretty sure if somebody's complaining that it's happening, it must be happening somewhere. But it's none of my business. I pray that it doesn't happen, and that's my job, is to stop it. Because once we're able to open our mouths and communicate about it and talk about it, we can solve that problem. Because you can easily change a racist person and make them love you if you can show them why they should love you. They don't have to love you. Racist people don't have to like you. That's an illness that comes from the past, from their ancestors. It's not even their fault. And if it is their fault, there's nothing you can do about it. But one thing I know is if you show love to someone that hates you, it can change them and make them a better person. That's your power and your gift. So that's all for today. I got to do my hair. But like I said, God wants me to do it like this. So I guess that's how it's being. Or the universe just wants me. Because God doesn't want me to put it all on him. And be like, oh, he's the one. You know what I mean? God doesn't like that all the time. We have to give him the credit. All the credit. Because that power does not belong to us, but it belongs to him. But he himself wants to be free from that power. That's why we're here. He gives power to people because he shares it with you. Anyways, guys, we'll talk more about all these things later. Just leave the comments, please. I really don't mind if you express your anger on the comments, because I'm going to be honest, I'd rather you express your frustrations out in comments on Instagram than express them out in the physical and start a war and problems with people in the world, physical. Release it on your internet. But I don't want you to be mean to people on the internet. I don't accept it. I don't allow it. I don't want it. But if you have no choice, do what you feel, But I don't want you to do that. I don't allow that. I don't accept that. But if it happens, it happens. I'm not in control of your body. You are. But I cannot say that I want you to harass people in the comments or harass me or harass. I'm not allowing that. I don't accept it. But I will leave it just so the world can see who you are and what you're about. You're only revealing your colors when you do that. There is nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, I've done that before where I'm like online, and if I don't like what I hear, I'm going to tell them how I feel. You feel me? Because that's just how I feel. And it's not harmful. It may be harmful secretly, but I try to be as nice as possible. Because I don't want to be that person that tells you the wrong thing and you go jumping off the roof because I said something that you didn't like. I don't want to use my body and my words that way. So we're all here to learn. So I don't encourage you to be mean. Don't be rude on the comments. Try to be as nice as you can to each other, especially and to me. Because I'm not here to harm you. I'm just here to open your eyes, to start a conversation that must have been shut a long time ago, or that could be happening, but it's just happening in different circles with different people. But we all stand here in the defense of each other. I'm here as a defense, but not just for black people, but even for white people, because I got white friends just as much as I got black friends. I got probably one black friend or two, to be honest. The rest are just associates. But I'm pretty sure there are some amazing black people that I could that I could be friends with. Because I've seen a lot of great black people out there. It's just they're very hard to find. But it's not their fault because they have been through a lot. So try to sympathize with black people. But the issue with them is that if you try to give them so much sympathy, they're going to use that and take that to their advantage. And that's the hard thing. So that's why you got to explain to them, like, don't take advantage of people because they're sympathizing with you, because they don't have to sympathize with you. Out of respect, they have to do that, but they don't have to be nice. They don't have to sympathize with you. They don't have to speak to you. They don't owe you anything. I don't care what color they are. Things are the way they are. It was nobody's fault. It was not Eve's fault that she was hungry for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Because you hunger for that same knowledge, that wisdom and understanding. That's why you go to school, and a lot of people are in debt because they're hungry for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So you cannot blame Eve and say, it's Eve's fault. We all messed up. She disobeyed against God and did this. Because then you would think, well, maybe God didn't want her to know. No, maybe God was telling her that there's a price to knowledge. And warning her. Hey, don't do it, but if you do it, this is what's going to happen. These are the consequences. It's not that she didn't want to listen. is that she had her own instincts as a person. I don't know if they were even her own, but I just don't feel like as a human being, the first woman on earth, Eve, was destined to know. She was not destined to walk around the Garden of Eden naked without knowledge. Do you think God wants to be or know somebody that just doesn't know? Because then she's just a robot to him. God wants you to talk back to him. Communicate, have a conversation, build a relationship. Eve was and still is the most important human being on this planet. She is your mother. Do not disrespect her. Because it was because of her. Because God sent her that you're here. And she suffered the pain of childbirth for you to be here. Imagine being the only woman on earth with two men. But Adam didn't even, Adam knew God existed, but he still felt alone. God felt alone. Don't forget, don't think God is just out here sending people and just suffering, because he too felt lonely. So we all have shared in that suffering. So let's forgive each other, let go of the grudge, and learn to love. Because it is the only way we're going to survive, is by the power of love and forgiveness. Letting go of that grudge. The only way you can let go of that grudge is if you release it. Speak about it. Go to therapy. Write a book about it. Sell that book. Because people want to know what you went through and how you came out of it, because they're probably going through the same exact thing and want to know how you came out of it, because they want to come out of it. That's why you went through it. So you could be that person to show them and teach them how to come out of their mental problems and mental disorders. So release your voice, free your voice, speak about it. There's different ways to speak. You don't want to be a snitch. You don't want to be that. Write a book, create characters, give them different names. And if you have to tell on somebody, because for your own safety and the safety of others, do what you have to do. Okay? Don't be afraid to speak up, especially if it comes to protecting you. Okay? I don't want to say, oh, don't be a snitch. Don't do this. Don't do that. Because it's like, who are you going to talk to feel safe? You need someone to protect you. And they are people that will protect you. I can't say that people don't love you. There is no love in the United States. There is no this. I've seen and I've felt the love more than my own country. So yeah, there is evil in a lot of things. I'm not saying black people are blind and they don't see the evil. We've all seen the darkness. But there's evil in the black race and the evil in the white race. Evil in the Spanish race, evil in the purple race. So we just need to eliminate the evil and stop fighting against each other and just learn to work with each other. We need peace. We are a family. This is a household, and we need to learn how to work with each other. It is by law. And thank God for the law. So give heart to the law. The law may not be perfect, but we work towards that perfection that we need to see, right? Work towards that perfection. If you want to see that difference, be that difference. If you want to be the person that the enemy uses to attack people and not do the right thing and be the terrorist, go around terrorizing other black people because you're black and you all fucked up and messed up in the head. So you want to go terrorize other black people. If you don't have a mental disorder, or if you don't go and turn yourself in and say that you and prove that you have a mental disorder, then they're gonna lock you up. You've never been registered in any hospital. You've never even proved that you have a mental disorder. So they're gonna put you 6 months in jail or 10 months in jail because you attacked another person because you don't have proof that you have a mental disorder. So you're doing these things on purpose. You're a terrorist, an enemy. America will not stand if you're fighting against its people, black or white. They're not against black people, or else black people will not be here, period. Black people have to be here. They need them. And just like black people need white people and other races, and Spanish people and Indian people. So, guys, let's work together. And I hope this message does not hurt or insult. It's not made to insult. It's meant to open the eyes of everyone and to build and to uplift and to make a difference and to be better as a nation. We are a family. God bless you.